There's our guy, Dennis Leary from Worcester. He's cashed some checks out in Hollywood. He can't totally go Red Sox way. It's a 47-degree night. So what's that, 6 degrees or so cooler than last night when we began game 1? It's not as damp. So that's a positive. And on this chilly night, David Price gets loose coming off that strong start we just talked about moments ago. Members of that 2004 team that broke the curse throughout the ceremonial first pitch. And there's our guy Millar getting a hug from Dave Roberts, who had that stolen base in game number 4. David Ortiz was clutch, as he always was in 2004 in game 4, in game 5. And then the ALCS shifted to New York and at Yankee Stadium, and the Red Sox never trailed at Yankee Stadium, blew through the Cardinals and broke the curse that all the fans up here were mad at us and me for talking about, but it was part of the story. But let's roll it forward to 2018. And now game 2 of this World Series. The top 3 for the Dodgers, the same as last night. Dozier, Turner, Freese. In the middle, same as last night. Machado, Taylor, Kemp. The bottom 3 in the lineup, the same as last night. Hernandez, Puig, and Barnes. Starting lineup for the Dodgers, brought to you by Bright House Financial against the left-hander David Price, who was so tired, John, of hearing about his failings in the postseason. Had no wins over his first 11 postseason starts until he was brilliant in game 5 of the ALCS.
Yeah, he sure was, and he came at that start after getting hot to pitch in game 4 in the bullpen, trying to get loose and get ready to possibly go in that game. Well, here he is, trying to stay on a roll and keep his team rolling in game 2.
Brian Dozier first up, picked up from the Twins during the season after the first pitch. Couple of hops. Devers gets the out. So David Price had a great second half of the season. 2.25 ERA in 11 starts. There's that stat he was sick of, and he doesn't have to hear about it anymore after ALCS Game 5. The 6 innings, the no runs, the 3 hits, the 9 strikeouts. And what was talked about after that game was his changeup that was so good it almost acted like a split-fingered pitch.
Yeah, the conditions were a little bit better, of course, in the Dome in Houston. Here, conditions are a little different. You're going to see fastballs on both sides of the plate. And let me just tell you, if he's hitting with his fastballs, that makes his secondary pitches that much better.
Justin Turner takes a strike.
He'll throw a 4-seam and a 2-seamer, and he'll cut the ball in, and that changeup you're talking about, Joe, will fade away from right-handers. And the challenge for the Dodgers really is they know he's an aggressive pitcher. How aggressive do you want to be at the plate?
That skips in there, a ball and a strike. Well, aggressive is typically a word used to describe this Dodger attack. For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. Last night they were a little more patient, got the pitch count of Chris Sale up, got him out of the game in the 5th, but still lost it 8-4. Strike 2 on Turner. David Price came up with the Tampa Bay Rays in 08. Made one start that year, but was so good out of the bullpen, especially in the LCS against the Boston Red Sox. 20-game winner in 2012, traded to Detroit, traded to Toronto, signed a $217 million deal to come to the Red Sox for 2016.
David Price went to that abbreviated windup. It's like out of the stretch with a little movement, simplified his mechanics, and then he exerts all his energy and he gets down through his plant leg and then lets it fly.
The 1-2. Got him looking 2 down.
That's the pitch right there on the inside part of the plate. Who's absolutely the best in baseball at producing the lowest average against on that particular pitch. On the inside part of the plate, a 126 average the players had. That's best in all of Major League.
So with 2 out and the base is empty, here is David Freese, who had a good approach last night against Sale. Ended up 2 for 3 in game 1 and has a propensity and a willingness to hit the ball the other way. That impressed his manager, Dave Roberts. So no changes to this lineup. Back-to-back left-handed starters for the Red Sox. That's down to make it 2-0.
And so again, part of the challenge for each team tonight is going to be, can you stay off of the secondary pitches that are balls? The pitcher wants you to expand the zone. And the game plan's having talked about it in meetings, and you tell yourself, stay off of that pitch, stay off of that pitch. Much harder when you get in the moment when you're in the World Series.
Those are grounded out on the first pitch. Turner struck out. Freese takes ball 3 with Machado next.
David Price with his fastball, not afraid to challenge hitters. He will give up some home runs. 25 on the year. And that's really the way the Dodgers are built.
Over the outside part for strike 1. Price, not a good start. Game 2 of the division series against the Yankees. Lost the game 6-2. Couldn't get through the second inning. Game 2 of the ALCS. He got the start. A no decision. A 7-5 Boston win. Warming up in game 4. The winner in game 5. Strike 2. A 2-out walk. And that will bring in Manny Machado. Dodgers got what they wanted last night as Machado, every time he stepped to the plate, had men on base, had a golden opportunity in the 7th inning with the bases loaded, 1 out. Broke his bat, flied one to center for a sac fly. The Red Sox would take that trade every game.
Well, he's had a lot of experience against David Price. You see the 5 home runs in the average, of course, in the same league for the longest time.
After the first pitch comes up empty on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, strike 1. That sac fly last night made it a 1-run game in the top of the 7th. 5-4. Bottom of the 7th, pinch hit 3-run home run for Eduardo Nunez. And it was 8-4. That's how it finished. Here is the 0-1. Popped up, right side, Pierce. Anything but routine. Half inning in the books in game 2. Good start for Price. No score. After a half inning, Red Sox coming to bat. And here's their starting lineup. Brought to you by Bright House Financial. Mookie Betts leads off, then Andrew Benintendi, Steve Pierce, the number 3 hitter. Basically the same look as game 1 with J.D. Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Rafael Devers. The back end, the only change. Bradley moves up a spot. It's after Ian Kinsler, and Christian Vasquez does the catching. Last night it was Sandy Leon, and here's big number 99, the 31-year-old left-hander, Hyunjin Ryu. This is up and away, ball 1 to Mookie Betts.
This big challenge will be strength against strength. Ryu's really good when he gets to 2 strikes, but guess who is also? The Boston Red Sox. So can he throw enough strikes? Can he get to 2 strikes and see who wins the battle of the night?
Left side, Machado down to grab it, throw, but out. As Freese comes off the bag and tags Betts, going by, 1 down. So Ryu takes care of Betts, who is now 1 for 5 in this World Series, and Benintendi will walk in. 7th overall pick in the 2015 draft, part of this good homegrown core of talent. And last night in his first World Series game, went 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored and 1 driven in. Strike 1. You see the majority of the infielders on the right side. With Justin Turner, the only one left on the left and way off the third baseline. There's the 0-1 from Ryu. Late swing and a foul, strike 2.
One of the things that Ryu struggled with in Milwaukee, you see all what Andrew Benintendi was able to do. He struggled with that curveball and really with his secondary pitches. Felt like Milwaukee was all on that kind of strategy, and they took advantage of it. Don't think he's ever pitched in temperature quite like this so far in his career.
All of Benintendi's hits last night against left-handed pitching. That's outside for ball 1. A ball and 2 strikes, and now Turner and Machado switch spots on the infield defense. Down and away, 2-2.
The formula for the Red Sox, Joe, has been pretty simple. You score first, they're 8-0. And when they score first, they put all kinds of pressure on the team with not only their offense, but their legs. So the Dodgers know that. They want to get off to a better start than they did last night.
Red Sox put up 2 in the first to strike out for out number 2. So Ryu, who was so good against Atlanta in the division series, that was in L.A. And Hyunjin, the left-hander, had a 1.15 ERA at home at Dodger Stadium this season. In a perfect world, Dave Roberts would rather have Ryu pitch his World Series games at Dodger Stadium. But the way it's set up, because Buehler would have been pitching on short rest, Rich Hill was an option, but he wanted to get Ryu on the mound as a starter twice in the series if he could, because the Red Sox won 108 games. They have the home field advantage. That means he's got to pitch in the cold here at Fenway Park.
Yeah, and on the flip side, David Price has been awesome at home. So the Red Sox have rewarded themselves with that record and home field advantage, trying to take advantage of all of that.
Steve Pearce takes a breaking ball that misses the outside corner. 2-0. With J.D. Martinez, the game's best DH, on deck. .2-0 pitch from Ryu is in for strike 1. Ryu was signed in December of 2012 after his posting by Hanwha Eagles of Korean Baseball Organization. Went 98-52 while pitching in his homeland. Here's a little pop-up right side for Freese. He's been really effective when he's been healthy. Coming back from a tear in his groin this year. Had a good second half. No score. There are the umpires for game 2 and where they're stationed. Kerwin Danley behind the plate. That was the crew chief, Ted Barrett. Chad Fairchild at second. Jeff Nelson over at third. Jim Reynolds is in left field and Tim Timmons is in right. Replay official is Field and Culbreth in New York. Man, Matt Gangle is quick on the trigger down there in the truck, our director. Hardest I've worked in weeks. Here's David Price. And there's Chris Taylor. And then, John, we have seen some swings from Chris Taylor Well, last night, in his first at bat, he ended up on a knee after one of his swings. He is just pumping here so far in the World Series.
Yeah, you're guessing fastball and you get changeup, and that's what David Price has done better since the second half. 70% off speed on the first pitch since the All-Star break. And that might speak exactly to his success rate. And his second half was outstanding because early on, when you're facing David Price in a regular season game, you know you're going to get a high percentage of fastballs, or at least you think. There's the home runs that happen. And now he's gone to off speed 70% of the time.
Maybe out of necessity, John, in that Game 5, after all that work in the bullpen late in Game 4, whatever it was, something clicked. And that changeup was a big reason why he piled up his 9 strikeouts against that good Houston lineup. Taylor strikes out on 3 pitches. 93-mile-an-hour fastball gets him for out number 1.
The other thing that David Price does well is expand the zone up. High fastballs, they do not do much with it. And fastball command sets up everything else that he has. For Taylor, he could not get to the ball.
Leadoff man is gone, and Matt Kemp, who put on a display during batting practice with a ton of power. And now here's a late shift by the infield defense as Ian Kinsler looks into the dugout and says, "Where do you want me?" He was moving to his right, and that's why time was called by the catcher Vasquez. Alex Cora, in his rookie season as the Red Sox manager, hoping to win it all, as was the case for Terry Francona in his first season with the Boston Red Sox back in '04. And the more you look back at that season and that postseason, as we said, they honored that team before tonight's game, and the moves that Terry Francona made and the way they managed the bullpen and a lot of personalities on that team, the more I'm just blown away by the job Terry did. And a tough place to manage, and that was the case with John Farrell when he and the Red Sox won it in 2013, and would be the case for Alex Cora. They were to win it all here in 2018. 0-2, the count on Matt Kemp. Right off the end of the bat. You look at the infield and where the infielders are stationed, you look at the spray chart from that count. That'll move Kinsler to his right, more up the middle.
We talked about Matt Kemp having that swing pretty much his whole career. He's looking for the ball middle of the plate to down. He loves to extend. You can jam him and you can throw a back foot cutter, but the changeup gives him fits for the way that he wants to attack the baseball.
StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. Another 0-2. Got him on the inside corner, and Kemp didn't agree. 2 out. Pretty good life on the fastball from David Price.
Yeah, tremendous life, and he gets the inside part of the plate. Probably a little bit off the plate, and that's what Matt Kemp was going to let the umpire know for the next at bat. He'll go downstairs and take a look and probably feel the same way.
2 out, nobody on. 3 strikeouts already under the belt of David Price. Here's Kike Hernandez, who takes strike 1. 2 more strikeouts for Kike last night. He has struck out 12 times this postseason, and just 3 for 30, as you see there. According to his manager, Dave Roberts, trying to do too much. I guess it's hard not to at this time of year. Pretty good pitch there, and that's called ball 1. David Price has thrown first pitch strike to every batter except David Freese, who walked with 2 out in the first. Usually a recipe for success when you have the stuff that Price has. That's strike 2, and Price could strike out the side here in the second. All the first pitch strikes. That one resulted in an out off the bat of Dozier. Got to put a little smile on your face, John Smoltz. That's the way you'd like to do it.
Well, that's a recipe for David Price, and how successful he can be, because it's not like he has 5 pitches. He wants that fastball to look like 3 different ones for the hitter. Up, down, in, and out. Stay out of the middle.
Vasquez is behind the plate tonight. He was behind the plate in Game 5 of the ALCS when David Price turned in his best postseason start. Sandy Leon, predominantly the catcher for David Price the second half of the season. And he put up that 2.25 ERA. Full count.
Saw earlier the bench yelling, "Get him up, get him up." And that's to anybody who stands in the box, trying to get the hitters to make David Price bring the ball up. In other words, if it starts low, it's going to end up low. Leave it go. But that's the decision you got to make split second. That is so difficult when the changeup moves as much as David Price has in the last start and a half. It's a challenge.
Seems to be a nice calm about David Price here tonight. Not rushing anything. 3-2 pitch. Into right center field. Should be easy, and it is. Bradley puts it away into the bottom of the second at Fenway. Red Sox coming up. Martinez, Bogart, double in his second at bat in the third. Off that door out in center field, and StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services.
Amazing hitter. Can't really find a bad stat. Anywhere you look, it's top of the line.
Pops it up here. Will it stay in play? Freeze. Along the railing is out of room, and just found out that there's netting over that rail.
Wind's blowing. What little wind is blowing towards that way, and camera well.
Last night, a first inning foul ball fell untouched by Freeze. It led to a hit by Betts. Here's one into center, pretty well hit. Kike Hernandez stalks it. 1 down. J.D. Martinez is one of those guys whose work ethic, after he signed that free agent deal late, but a work ethic that just stuns even his teammates. The attention to detail, the videotaping of batting practice, and it going right to his little tablet, and the dissecting he does of every little piece of his swing is really something that has everybody's attention on this team.
Yeah, it's kind of filtered all the way through the lineup, so now everybody gets the same treatment. Talking to Andrew Benintendi, he said, "I don't even understand what some of the drills are." He's got things I've never seen before, but very disciplined, and obviously you could say it works better for him than anybody else that's played this game, because his game travels.
Xander Bogaerts took a strike, and now a ball that rolls up there, up and away. A ball and a strike.
When you think about it, both these teams are here in the World Series, and both had a ton of pressure on them. The Boston Red Sox, with their first-year manager, won 108 games, and they had probably the toughest travel to get here.
Here's one hammered into left center field. It is off the monster. And Bogaerts will dig into second with a one-out double. That big wall can give, and it can take. It'll give you a cheap home run every once in a while. That ball was pasted. In any other ballpark, that's an easy home run.
Yeah, no doubt. The soft, high fly balls are the ones that you can actually steal a home run, but the balls that are not hit high enough, and you see how deep this gets on the wall. Easy double.
And another dent. Runner at second, and Ryu steps off. The batter now is Devers, who is celebrating his 22nd birthday with the start in Game 2 of the World Series. Rafael last night 1 for 2 with an RBI. In this postseason, 8 for 22. That's .364 average for this young guy who can rake, and somebody who has been helped by JD Martinez, his teammate. That hits the outside corner. Our Indeed.com player resume. What he's accomplished. He celebrates number 22 today, an RBI in each of his first 8 starts. During his postseason career, he's the first player in MLB history to accomplish that. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Yeah, he likes the ball up and out over the plate. So that pitch right there tied him up. But he never looked, since the first day he got on the field, that he was overmatched emotionally. Like, it just seems like everything has been kept in check. He's had some big moments. Even though he's not hitting for a high average, he's got that power they like the other way.
That was almost framed by Barnes, but it stayed inside, and saw the 13 RBIs, the second bullet point on that resume. 13 RBIs, the second most by a player before his 22nd birthday, to your former teammate Andruw Jones. Number 14 is sitting out there with 1 out here in the second.
So to finish that earlier thought, when you think about 108 wins and what they had to go through, the Yankees, the defending champs, and now here in the World Series trying to impose their way. Well, the Dodgers had a ton of pressure on them because they were expected to win their division, had to go to the final day, and had a unbelievably hard-fought series against the Milwaukee Brewers. And I just think that Dave Roberts, both managers, have a unique way of leading their team with their personalities.
That's down, the full count.
Dave's so upbeat, people-oriented, always talking to his players. They don't get carried away. They didn't get lost in the moment in Milwaukee when they were down. He said they won't get lost in the moment now and against a great Red Sox team. But they feel like, I'm sure each team feels like they match up well against each other.
Runner at second with 1 out, 3-2, and he struck him out. Second strikeout for Ryu as Devers goes down.
Well, whatever issue he's having in Milwaukee, and you always worry as a pitcher, are you tipping your pitches? The break on this curveball tonight has not been affected at all. It's been a much better break. And he has a good complement of off-speed pitches, does Ryu, to take pressure off of his fastball. Sneaky quick with the fastball. Good changeup that he gets a lot of hitters to expand the zone with. And a good curveball right there.
Now the inning falls to Ian Kinsler, who started this season with the Angels, ending this season in the World Series with the Red Sox. His 3rd World Series, runner at second, 2 out. Foul, strike 1. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. And by Lowe's. Ryu so far this postseason, 1-1. His record with 1 no decision.
And again, talking to Dave Roberts, he felt it was going to be really important tonight that Ryu changed the eyesights of this hitters on the Boston Red Sox. In, out, up, down, and not get too predictable.
That's a base hit. Here comes Bogaerts. The Red Sox jump 2. Another 2-out RBI for Boston. It belongs to Kinsler. Set it at the top of the night. Over half their runs now this postseason have been scored with 2 out.
It's not that easy, folks. I'm telling you, this is a rare feat that this club has been able to do with 2 outs. The numbers on the year, just in runner scoring position, are fantastic. Think about this. The first 8 hitters in this lineup with runners in scoring position are all hitting .333 or above. You just don't see that, so that's why they've been rolling and took care of the teams they have so far.
So Kinsler is on at first. The first RBI of the night, and he checks on. Kinsler did some running during the regular season. Stole 16. He's 1 for 1 in the postseason. Could be a spot to run if Kinsler can figure out Ryu. That's a base hit by Bradley. Taylor over to cut it off. The throw toward third is, whether it's in time or not, out is the call as Machado keeps the glove on the body of Kinsler, and he came off the bag.
What a throw by Taylor. Wow.
Looked like he got him twice. Going to the bag and after the bag.
With the Red Sox so good with 2 outs, you never know what kind of inning it would have been had this throw been not made. What a great play. And if you could see what Machado was looking at, that ball clips the pant leg of Kinsler, and Machado stays with it, makes the tag.
Yeah, that was no easy catch by Machado either. Good play on both ends. And as we go into the 3rd inning, Boston leads 1-0. And here's Yasiel Puig, the number 8 hitter. All bundled up on 46, 47 degree night. Takes the ball inside.
Puig gets on the bases. His energy makes things happen for the Dodgers. Of course, he's got tremendous power. But he uses legs as well.
That's a little floater caught by Kinsler. 1 away. And Puig carried his bat on his way to first.
Just got inside enough. Well, he hits a little fade that doesn't get over the head of Kinsler.
So Puig is the first out. Austin Barnes steps in. Strike 1. The Red Sox have not tipped anybody off as to who starts game 3 on Friday in LA, or game 4 for that matter. Reason being, the 2 potential starters are down in the bullpen again tonight for Alex Cora. That's Rick Porcello, former Cy Young Award winner. He's available. And the same for Nathan Eovaldi, who worked last night for an inning.
Yeah, it's definitely unique, and both of them agreeable to do it. Said it doesn't bother them at all for their next start.
We do know who's starting game 3 on Friday in LA for LA, and that's Walker Buehler, the 24-year-old rookie who was so impressive in the game 7 start in Milwaukee a few days ago.
Yeah, his electric stuff will be going up against a lineup that can score some runs.
2-2 on Barnes.
And in conditions much more likable to both teams. It's going to be warm in LA.
High on Friday expected to be 87 degrees. A 40-degree swing from this moment here in game 2. That is inside a full count.
David Price puts so much pressure, not only on the hitter, but on the umpire, of course, if he keeps pounding it on that corner.
Barnes 2 hits this postseason, trying to get on in front of Dozier. Gets a piece.
Well, the one good thing, if it was real windy and cold, it would be much more difficult, I think, for the pitchers, just from a standpoint of the baseball. And if you don't spend much time out there, then you get into a warm place in the dugout, and it's no big deal. Every once in a while, the wind will kind of show itself, but for the most part, it's not consistent.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Austin Barnes. Into right field, easy for Betts. 2 down. Dodgers still looking for their first hit. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. And by Indeed, the world's #1 job site. These players bundled up. We talked about it last night that the Boston Red Sox have a little bit of an advantage with regard to the weather. The Dodgers' coldest game coming into last night was 58 degrees, and 2 of them in San Francisco. Last night was a different world. Tonight's even worse.
It's amazing when you think about it. I mean, I know in relatives to where they're playing, but they got to come east, and they just haven't come east when it's been bad, I guess.
Talked to Alex Cora about it before the game, and he said, I don't know why, but in April, when it's cold, everybody complains. In October, when it's cold, nobody cares. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dozier went after the first pitch and chopped it to third. His first time up. So 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 3 in the series. That misses. 2 balls and a strike.
I think if you gave David Price his choice, he'd rather have that pitch than the pitch inside on the corner. Because that pitch right there will expand the zone more because it brings in that changeup, which you just saw right there. Looked like it was close.
For the Dodgers, they are best suited to face a right-handed starter. They have a lot of power, a lot of stats, a lot of home runs sitting on their bench to start the game. Like him, Max Muncy, who hit 35 home runs during the regular season. Bellinger and Jock Peterson. We'll see them before the end of the night, but not here early in game 2. Same story as last night. Dozier pops it foul. It will get out of play.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about these 2 teams have kind of cornered the market on left-handed starting pitching. On the year, 30% in the American League was started by left-handers and 31 in the National League. And so to your point, that keeps those guys on the bench at this point the way that Dave Roberts has chose to match up.
And Grandal is not in there as much for defense as he is because of the left-handed starter, but he is a more powerful hitter. He's a switch hitter from the left side. It's a lot of home runs sitting there next to Dave Roberts. This is just the 3rd World Series in which left-handed pitchers started the first 2 games for both teams. The other 2 years in '63 and '73. '63, the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Red Sox basically had Pomeranz, Edward, Rodriguez, Sale, and of course Price. And the Dodgers had 4 of their own at one point. With the 2 that have gone here, Wood was in the rotation, Rich Hill. And so the Red Sox have added Eovaldi. And he's become their right-handed starter in this postseason.
Next 2 starters will be right-handed for Boston. Another 3-2. High and tight. And ball 4. That's the second walk by Price. You saw Christian Vasquez pop up. He thought that was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 4.
Like I said, David Price ain't missing by much. That's how good he is right now with the command of his fastball. Would have liked to have gotten that call.
Still shaking his head about it as Justin Turner steps in.
Justin Turner, when he's clicking, the Dodgers are clicking. He's been unbelievable in the postseason, and since his injury, back on track as one of the toughest hitters to get out in the playoffs.
Hard hit. Devers goes the short way, and out at second is Dozier to end the top of the 3rd. And Turner's 0 for 2. Last night had a 3-hit game. 2.5 complete. 1-0 Red Sox. Game number 2 goes into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Christian Vasquez will lead it off, the number 9 hitter, then back to the top. Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi against Ryu, the left-hander who fires a strike to Vasquez. Vasquez hit 207 during the regular season. You can see the 227 average, 5 for 22 this postseason. One of 3 catchers Alex Cora has on his roster. Strike 2.
Well, the one thing the lefties do for the Dodgers as well is cut down on that power that the Red Sox possess. Against left-handers, their power number goes way down. Only 37 home runs. And the Dodgers staff, second best in baseball, going against the best offense. So there's a bunch of strengths each club have. And you always want to impose your will. You want to make sure your strength sticks out if you can.
0-2. Struck him out, and that's strikeout number 3 for Hyunjin Ryu. 1 down. Major League Baseball proudly celebrates the life and legacy of Roberto Clemente. Earlier tonight, Yadier Molina was announced as the 2013 Roberto Clemente Award winner for his positive contributions to the community off the field. His wife Wanda accepted the award on his behalf, as Yadier is currently coaching the Puerto Rican national team in a tournament in Colombia. Visit MLBcommunity.org to learn more. Here's a strike into Mookie Betts. Yadier and his wife Wanda together formed Foundation 4, a nonprofit organization that helped victims of Hurricane Maria that struck Puerto Rico last year. The next to Betts is a little high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's so much more to that story, however. And if we get a chance, we will tell you a little more about it and the work that Yadier and his wife did in their homeland. Here's a 1-1. That's on the inside corner. Betts doesn't agree, and now he's in the hole 1 and 2.
Well, these are the corners right here that both lefties are trying to get. And Ryu gets it. Gets him ahead with 2 strikes. Trying to put a great leadoff hitter off the base.
That's in left center field, a base hit. 2 outs, don't bother the Red Sox. 2 strikes, don't bother the Red Sox hitters. 1 on, 1 out.
Strength against strength, and Mookie Betts gets the best of Ryu with 2 strikes. I'm going to be very intrigued at some point. I don't know how long this series will go, but Mookie Betts is giving strike one to the Dodgers hitters. And at some point, I think he's going to make them pay. He doesn't swing very often on the first pitch. His average is not very good. He likes to work the count. But watch as that progresses a moment to surprise the Dodgers staff.
Taco Bell back with steal a base, steal a taco. Last night in a blink, Game 1, Mookie Betts stole the first base of the World Series, which means everyone in America gets a free Doritos Locos Taco. Stop by Taco Bell on November 1st from 2 to 6 p.m. to steal yours.
I think they're talking about the tacos right now, trying to get another order placed.
Really? Tom Goodwin, the first base coach, talking to Betts. Late time granted by the home plate umpire as Ryu was set for quite a while. Just to finish with Clemente. Yanuel, Yadier Molina's son, and his daughter Ariana in that ceremony. Vera Clemente, sons Luis and Roberto Jr. Harold Reynolds was out there, who won the award back in 1991. And Tim Wakefield got a huge ovation from the crowd here at Fenway. He won the award in 2010. When we talked to Alex Cora about it, Alex is so proud of Yadier and the work he did. Alex from Puerto Rico, he said this was not something where Yadier just sent a check. Here's one into center field off the end of the bat. Kike Hernandez has it. That's 2 out. He said Yadier and his wife, they put on the boots. They went up into the mountains, delivered supplies and water for those hurricane victims. Very much in the spirit of Roberto Clemente himself, who passed away on December 31st, 1972. At the age of 38, passed away delivering supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua. So that is a special award, and for a guy like Yadier Molina, who is a giant off the field, he's become a big figure off the field. As that pitch misses inside to Steve Pearce, ball 1. You won that award, and I think that award is so special for these players to take advantage of their opportunity to make a difference. Good for you. Good for Yadier Molina.
Yeah, it's the greatest non-baseball award you can get by far. All those winners are deserved.
We are through 3, 1-0 Boston in Game 2. And now let's look at how T-Mobile and Team Rubicon work together to help those affected by natural disasters. Dodgers freeze Machado and Taylor against Price. And he fires a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He made a little mechanical adjustment to get the timing back, and that adjustment has paid off for the last start and a half. And he's commanding the zone and on point with every pitch.
Just missed inside. A ball and a strike on Freese, who drew a walk. That means in 4 plate appearances in this World Series, David Freese has been on base 3 times. No runs allowed in the last 10 2/3 innings pitched during the postseason for Price. That's into right, and that is a base hit. Betts does a nice job of keeping it in front of him, and David Freese has his 3rd hit through 1 game plus.
Wow, that ball, I think he hit it off his chest. He did a nice job because that could have gotten by Mookie Betts. Even though Freese is not super fast, there's a lot of room behind Mookie Betts. He gets down, he realizes he's not going to catch it. Oh, he gets the glove on it. It knocks it instead of his body.
It's not an easy right field to play because of those angles, because of that foul line and pesky pole right down that foul line in right. And then that big gap in right center, the change in the angles. It's a huge center field. And it's a short porch in left field with a lot of weird caroms off the green monster. This is not an easy outfield to play here at Fenway. Here's Machado. That's into center field. Back-to-back hits. 2 on, nobody out for the Dodgers here in the 4th. A lot of first pitch swinging from Manny Machado through 2 games in this series.
Maybe he went up there guessing fastball and got it. He got a base hit up the middle, and Jackie Bradley playing really deep, but his arm is so good. You can't take a chance if you're Freeze rounding second, and that's just a typical swing out of Manny Machado.
We talked about last night how Benintendi led the league with his 12 outfield assists, and the man to his left, Jackie Bradley Jr., had 9. Betts had only 5, but part of the reason why is teams don't run on it.
It's an unbelievable cannon that he has. And in center field, you rarely throw people out because you're in the deepest part of the park.
Big at bat here for Taylor. Chris struck out his first time. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Ball 1.
Pierce is kind of maybe thinking Taylor might bunt, but there really is not going to be a lot of bunt. We may not see a bunt this entire series other than starting pitchers in the National League. These teams are built differently. The Dodgers love to hit the long ball. The Red Sox, of course, in the American League, used to scoring a bunch of runs.
Here is a 1-0 pitch from Price. Not a lot of contact from Chris Taylor so far. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chris Taylor's looking in one area, and that's to pull the baseball. He had a nice NLCS. But as he's transformed his swing and changed his career, he basically has the same swing on every pitch and every count. He's looking to do damage.
It's 17 home runs during the regular season. 17 of the Dodgers' 235. That is down and in. Squirts away from Vasquez in the count 2-1.
Here you see the splits. There really isn't much to that right side. That's why you see the defense the way it is. And if they can get the ball up above that uppercut type swing, it's tough for him. He likes the ball down.
Well, he has the count in his favor. Runners at first and second, nobody out, with the Dodgers down by 1 in the 4th. Strike 2.
Great job changing up velocity and location. Not letting these hitters lock in. If the hitters haven't gone up early trying to swing and make contact early, David Price makes it real difficult for you to guess along with him.
Price has struck out 3. He just allowed his first 2 hits of the night in his first jam of game 2. Too far inside, a full count.
Will he go with a 3-2 changeup right here after burying a fastball inside?
And here's a visit from Vasquez. And everybody joins in.
You know, in the postseason, everything, the attention to detail is so far greater. And as a pitcher, it's going to be the longest game mentally you ever pitch. It's not that you don't concentrate on every pitch in the regular season, but you never have this kind of crowd and intensity in the regular season. And therefore, it'll be a little longer.
A hit by Freese into right, a hit by Machado into center, and a full count on Chris Taylor. That is ball 4 to load him up. Walk number 3, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for the Dodgers DH Matt Kemp.
Well, it's interesting when you put a lot of pressure on that inside part of the plate. He starts him out away with a changeup. Then he goes away with a changeup and gets a swing and miss. And inside, back to inside, gets the call, and then tries to pound that inside part of plate. The room for error is so small in there, but if you paint it, the hitter has no chance, and it was the risk David Price was willing to take.
Well, the 34-year-old Matt Kemp, who in his first World Series at bat last night hit a home run into left here at Fenway. His second tour of duty with the Dodgers. An all-star this season, batting with nobody out and the bases loaded. In the air to center. Bradley is back. Tagging is Freese. Freese will score. The throw in toward third. It's a 1-1 game. Matt Kemp has tied it up here in the 4th inning as he flies one to Bradley in center.
He did a nice job elevating the ball, trying to keep the ball off the ground. I believe he hit a changeup. And again, Machado, he looked like he was going to tag. There's the changeup and a good swing and a good effort to get the ball in the air, knowing you're going to at least get one run. And then Machado could not risk going to third with one out with Bradley's arm. And Bradley properly threw in toward third to hold the runners at first and second. They're there with one out now, and here's Kike Hernandez. 3 for 31 this postseason. Dave Roberts sticks with him. Ball 1. Hernandez, a member of the group for the Dodgers, can play all over the place. Can play anywhere in the infield, anywhere in the outfield. Very versatile roster. Same for him. Chris Taylor. The 1-0. A ball and a strike. Second player in World Series history to play 3 different positions. Started in center, was in left, second base. Tony Phillips. For La Russa's Oakland A's in '89, the other to do it. And La Russa's here, part of the Red Sox front office. 1-1. Inside, 2-1. I mentioned Kike would love to get a hit here to help his cause and make him feel a little bit better. I mentioned earlier maybe pressing a little bit. His manager thought he was pressing, trying to make something happen. Well, this at bat, he stayed disciplined so far and has worked the count 2-1.
'94 from Price. Strike 2 on Hernandez. Hernandez with a career high in hits at 103 during the regular season, but he has struggled with opportunities to knock home runs this postseason.
The Dodgers have already done a better job in this short start to a series than they did the whole last series with runners on and making contact. They had a couple chances to break that game open, but they did at least make contact to get the runners home, much like what Matt Kemp did. Whereas in Milwaukee, they were striking out way too much with runners on third and second and less than 2 outs. Better approach so far in game 1 and 2.
Price has struck out 3. And now a full count on Hernandez. And even with those better at-bats, 12 strikeouts last night in game 1 by the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, that's part of their DNA as well as the home runs. I mean, that's just going to be them. They do have the ability to strike out, especially if pitchers are making their pitches, elevating fastballs to a team that wants to hit it in the air. But the Dodgers' depth is probably one of the best National League depth rosters I've seen in a while.
3-2 the count. Right off the end of the bat.
I mean, you already mentioned how many homers are on the bench. How many teams could ever say they could have that many homers sitting on the bench and still produce a lineup like the one they've got tonight with right-handers? So testimony is going to be to the toughness of those young players coming off the bench when called upon to face the right-handed relievers, especially in a night where it's just not exactly easy to get loose.
And they will be called upon. But right now, it's Hernandez, the number 7 hitter. It's David Price on the mound. Tie game. 2 on, 1 out, and a 3-2 count. Foul. The next pitch will be the 8th of this at bat. And the most pitches thrown so far by David Price have come here in the 4th. Still only 1 out. They start to move around in the Red Sox bullpen. They'll do it again.
That's the other thing. Depending on who's up there, and I don't know if Dave Roberts has enough guys at the plate that he could trust on a 3-2 count to send the runners with those strikeouts that you were talking about and be able to manage the strike zone and not get into a double play strikeout throw him out. So he has not chosen to send anybody so far in these situations.
Yeah, you're used to seeing that with a 3-2 count. Certainly not a power hitter at the plate, somebody you expect to make contact, but those runners have not moved. Another 3-2, and he struck him out. 2 out.
Just overpowers him with a fastball in the upper part of the zone, and you see the barrel of the bat just missing, making contact. And now it'll be up to Yasiel Puig, who's had some big hits in the previous series for the Dodgers. So Flair for the dramatic with 2 outs. Puig trying to give his team the lead.
So throw another strikeout on the pile. And with 2 on, 2 out, here's number 66. Hit a soft liner to Kinsler at second, his first time up. Now the Dodgers look for a 2-out RBI hit. That is into center. They get it from Puig. Machado to the plate, and the Dodgers lead 2-1 in the 4th. Yasiel Puig delivers with 2 down here in the 4th inning. A visit coming for David Price after this into center.
Well, he got inside, but he got a little bit more of it, and Puig knows that as soon as he hits it, it's up the middle. And that's going to easily score Machado with 2 outs, and you see what Puig can do and the excitement of the Dodgers. They said, oh, we may not have a lot of 2-out hits, but that was a big one. Yeah. Similar to game 1.
Yeah, go.
Dodgers scratching back.
And the Milton, Massachusetts native Rich Hill cheering on Manny Machado as he made his trip to the plate. Now it's first and third, 2 out, 2 runs home, a 1-run lead, and the number 9 hitter Austin Barnes digging in. 2 RBIs this postseason, a big one in Game 5 of the NLCS. That not only tied that game against Milwaukee, but kept Clayton Kershaw in the game. Kershaw would go 7. Strike 1.
Yesterday I said whatever each team can get out of the 9th spot would be such a luxury. Leone got a hit the other way to help get things going, and now Barnes looking to chip in as well.
Long inning for Price. 2 runs are home. The Dodgers up by a run in the 0-1. Strike 2. Joe Kelly, who worked last night, hit 100 on the radar gun. And his 1 shutout inning is getting loose. Vasquez out in front of the plate. Tom Verducci, what are you seeing down there?
Adjustments by the Dodgers second time around, Joe. I know you've talked about how aggressive David Price has been around the plate with first pitches. The Dodgers are actually the most disciplined, patient team in the league. This inning, you've seen Machado, Kemp, and Puig. And right now, this is bat Barnes fouled off. All swing at those first pitches. So Price being around the plate, the Dodgers have adjusted this inning second time around.
Runners at the corners with 2 out. And the 0-2 to Barnes. Struck him out. But the Dodgers get 2. And for LA, it's their bottom of the 4th inning. Ryu now has a 1-run lead. It's 2-1 Dodgers on top. Yasiel Puig delivers the 2-out RBI hit to put LA in front. JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Rafael Devers for the Red Sox. Shot left side. Machado shows off his arm, and it's a good one. 1 out. Martinez 0 for 2. Live every World Series moment with MLB At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get all your Dodgers and Red Sox action. In-game video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, live radio feeds, and much more. Download MLB At Bat today.
The Red Sox yesterday, every inning but 1, responded to the Dodgers scoring runs. That's why Ryu in this inning is so important to put up a 0. Whenever your team gets you runs, that very bottom half is so important.
He misses to Bogaerts, ball 1.
See the numbers on Ryu. He's done a nice job mixing it up.
Here's a 1-0. Inside 2-0. Bogaerts doubled with 1 out in the 2nd and scored on the 2-out RBI hit by Kinsler. Takes a strike.
And I think in our era of shortstops, with the greatness that we have in young players, this guy's under the radar for me. He's one of the better ones. And his combination of what he's done, steady Eddie in the field, offensively, can hit.
That's ball 3. Well, we've talked about Bogaerts as a 21-year-old who hit and played his way into the lineup every game of that 6-game World Series and the win over St. Louis. And I would agree with you. There are quite a few good young shortstops that have made their debuts since. Bogaerts easy to overlook, but you shouldn't. But Javier Baez came after him. Correa, Lindor, Trey Turner, Corey Seager, who is recovering from Tommy John surgery, Trevor Story. All those guys came along after Xander Bogaerts, but this guy's only 25 years old, and from the shortstop position knocked in over 100 runs this season. Ryu on 3-2. A foul tip off the mask of Barnes.
Bogaerts loves the ball down. Great low ball hitter, especially off the left-handed pitches. See, with a mini leg kick, gets the foot down and just misses the pitch, but didn't miss Barnes.
Another 3-2. He got him looking. And Bogaerts puts up a mild protest as he becomes the 4th strikeout victim for Ryu. 2 out. Let's see, try to guess where Bogaerts thought this missed. And the answer is low, but it was right there at the knees.
Bottom part of the strike zone, and maybe fooled on the pitch a little bit.
Two out. Here's Devers. It's like taking a picture on your cell phone, taking a selfie. It's the first thing you do. Look at it.
Yeah.
How'd I look in that?
That's what the hitters are going to go do.
The hitters just go right down those steps, right to the video screen, and look at that last pitch to see if their eyes were right, or in this case, Kerwin Danley's eyes were right. I think that replay proved that Danley's eyes were right.
Well, back in the day, we'd ask, if you were pitching on the mound, you'd ask your teammates, in this case, Glavine or Maddox, and see what they would say because it's charted on TV. And I just learned not to ask Maddox anymore.
Here's a 1-1. That's strike 2 on Devers. They say that everything works off the fastball. I don't care who you are, and I think that's the case for Ryu tonight. That fastball's been in there, and 92, 93, pretty good.
Yeah, sneaky quick. You see the difference in delivery. He's got more of an athletic delivery and a classic windup. It looks like he's playing catch with the catcher.
A strikeout on a ball that bounced in there, and a good play by Austin Barnes, and Ryu does put up the 0 after the Dodgers get the lead. 5th inning now, game 2 back at Park. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by State Farm. Glad to have them with us. Glad to have you with us. Top of the order, 5th inning for David Price. 2-1 Dodgers lead. Dozier first up. Then Turner, then Freeze. Ball 1 outside as Dozier shortened up. Just getting a look at that pitch. And that pulled Devers in a couple of steps over at third. Devers, by the way, led the big leagues with 24 errors during the regular season. There's the strike.
The Dodgers last inning really made David Price work, but he limited the damage to 2 runs. He still had a fairly good pitch count. It's going to be pitch number 70 here in the 5th.
Final 2 outs of the top of the 4th were via the strikeout. Hernandez and Barnes. That's down 2-1. Dozier was trying to launch one over the monster, and he fouls it away left side, 2-2.
with all that goes on in managing a game, first-year manager Alex Cora has seemed like he's been doing it a long time. He admitted early in the year of some mistakes, but he's on the other side of a championship with Houston. A.J. Hinch. You don't see him flustered very often. And all the decision-making both him and Dave Roberts have to make. And what I think is going to be one of the most compelling World Series between two really, really good baseball teams.
2-2 pitch. I like it when Alex was talking to us before last night's game, and in particular about his closer, Craig Kimbrell, and the situation he brought him into at Yankee Stadium. He said, I put him in a bad spot, first and third, one out, game on the line. He said, that was on me, and I told him that was on me. I was just trying to figure out how to make moves like that, trying to learn as a first-year manager.
Yeah, because they had tried to prepare Kimbrell, who got a late start in spring training, for 6 outs at some point.
That is hit hard in the air to left, back at the wall. A leaping grab by Benintendi. And another loud out this postseason that this Red Sox outfield is able to haul in. What a catch.
Yeah, not the easiest position to play when you got that big green wall right there. And we asked him about it today. Have you gotten used to it? Are you used to all the bounces and everything that wall provides or presents? And he said, no, not exactly. He said, because there's a ladder, there's the numbers, it takes crazy bounces.
David Price appreciates it. You and I saw a couple of great catches in the NLCS. One by Taylor in Game 7. One by Cody Bellinger in right in that long Game 4. Here's Turner. That's strike one. But the catch that Benintendi made with the bases loaded, game on the line in Houston to end Game 4, 8-6 final, is as good a catch in a tight spot as you'll ever see.
Yeah, similar short left field over there. Of course, they don't have quite the height to the wall in Houston, but he had to come in and charge that play.
That's strike two on Turner. Who knows what that catch just saved for the Red Sox with Turner, Freese, and Machado, the next three hitters.
You hear David Price yell. He wasn't happy about that 0-2 pitch. Got to try to be a perfectionist on the mound. He wanted that pitch in a different area because he knows that Turner is such a good hitter with 2 strikes. Look where he wanted it and look where it ended up. He got away with it. He knew it. He'll hope to make the correction here.
Price gets the one he wants. 0-2 the count. Inside, ball one. In 2009, Justin Turner was with the Orioles, and his first big league game, that just missed, was here at Fenway Park. He had those years with the Mets. He's made his name with the Dodgers. Last night was his first game back at Fenway Park since his first game in the big leagues. He waits on 1 and 2 and chops to third for Detmers, who backs up and gets the out. Talked about that catch by Benintendi in Game 4. StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, with Bregman at the plate and the bases loaded. How good was that?
Yeah, being left-handed, you got to like chances going in, but such a good athlete. Today, a little different of a catch. So athletic. Yep.
There you go. You can just send that to the Boston Globe right now.
I believe you're right, especially if they come back and win. Well, that's what makes the Red Sox, I mean, the best outfield in baseball if you think about it defensively.
Dodgers want that catch to be a footnote as they try to even this World Series at a game apiece. Here's Freese. That's strike one. Freese on base twice with a walk in the first. His single was the first Dodgers hit, leading off the fourth inning as he got one to drop in front of Mookie Betts in right. Here's one in the air to center. Back is Bradley. And a 1-2-3 fifth for David Price. The lead still one. Nice catch started the inning by Benintendi. Now for a word from Bank of America and its new virtual assistant Erica, an easier way to stay on top of your financial game. To the bottom of the fifth inning, Cody Bellinger comes off the bench. He's now in center. That moves Kike Hernandez to second. Dozier out. And here's a check swing ground ball to Freese. Feeds Ryu. One pitch, one out. That's the way the bottom of the fifth inning begins on a little excuse me out from Kinsler.
Ryu's a bigger guy, but a much better athlete than people might not know. Can handle the bat a little bit. Of course, his ability around the mound. And this is the time during the regular season, 4th through the 6th inning, he did his best work, which tells me when he gets in rhythm, as you see the replay here, he feels pretty good about all his pitches. And the direct line to first base, practiced that 1,000 times in spring training. But the 4th through 6th inning, he had an under 1 ERA on the year. And that's where he is here now in the middle part of those 3 innings I just talked about.
Jackie Bradley Jr. takes down for ball one. Now Machado is by himself on the left side of the infield. The shift on, and Machado is about even right in the baseline. Bradley singled his first time. That was back in the second, and he gets under this one, and there's Machado. Two out, nobody on, and the number 9 hitter Vasquez coming up. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Budweiser. Join the team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser.
I wonder how much those panels are worth.
Well, I mean, just about every visiting player comes to Fenway Park and goes inside the Green Monster and signs his name. I would say a lot.
Both pitchers tonight have been on their game. Even David Price, and give up those 2 runs. His stuff has been outstanding.
Vasquez takes a strike. Christian struck out his first time. 5 for 23. That's strike 2. I think it was Mark Wicker, who is a terrific columnist out in Los Angeles, who wrote the piece about Cody Bellinger coming here during the workout, which was on Monday, going inside the wall and trying to find his dad, Clay's signature. He was a utility player and a guy who logged some innings and some key at-bats for the Yankees, among other teams. And there's a look inside. Did you sign inside there?
Yes, I did.
Good. Did you just find the first open spot and sign, or did you find a special neighborhood to join?
No, just open spot.
Oh, well, you're easy. Here's the 0-2. That's inside as Ryu thought he might be headed back to the dugout, and the warmth found within. Instead, it's ball one. The Dodgers in the 6th will have Machado, Taylor, and Kemp. 1-2. Into right field. Puig will play it on a bounce. And Vasquez is on with 2 out. And it will bring in Mookie Betts, who hit 32 home runs this season, tied for 9th most in the AL. And led the league in hitting at 346. What do you think? Will we see Mookie Betts play second base when this World Series goes to Dodger Stadium?
I actually do think we will. I was here when he had to fill in at second base, and it's the happiest I've ever seen a player in my life.
That's how he came up. Now he's just a great outfielder who's got terrific hands as he takes a strike, and he still takes ground balls every day, and he says he doesn't want his hands to get lazy, and that actually helps him in the outfield. That's no stretch to see him go back to the infield.
They are sacrificing nothing with his ability to play defense, whether it's at second base or the outfield. But what you have to think is you've got to have JD in the outfield because they have to have his bat in the lineup.
Up the middle, another 2-out hit. Vasquez holds it second, 2 on, 2 out. And another hit is added for Boston. Number 6. Now Benintendi, who just made that catch, out in left. So a visit on the mound. Ryan Madson in the bullpen. And we'll give you a quick word from Duracell.
This is the #1 trusted brand.
Well, the 1 RBI tonight for Boston came off the bat of Ian Kinsler with 2 out. 5 of the 8 RBIs last night came with 2 out in game 1. And our Budweiser game summary is a comparison of the 2 starters. You see what they've been able to do is Ryu tries to match David Price by getting through 5.
Well, you tell yourself not to think about it, but you're reminded of what the Red Sox do with 2 outs, right? You just got to singly make a pitch at a time and not be carried away with the moment that you've seen from yesterday and the series before. Make your pitch, get back in the dugout. And if you're the Red Sox, you're like, good luck.
Well, the outfield has to play deep with the power of Benintendi, who hit 16 home runs, none so far this postseason. Lead runner is Vasquez, does not run well. That is blocked for the most part by Barnes, and Vasquez, had he taken off, would have run right into an out. As he talks to Manny Machado and makes him laugh. Ball 1 to Benintendi.
Curveball, catches the chest protector, and not far enough away.
Benintendi could tie it with a hit, extra base hit. Would likely put Boston back on top. Another one in the dirt. With the right-handed hitting Steve Pearce on deck, although Mitch Moreland is on the bench for Alex Cora. Ryan Madson has a little more pressure to get loose and ready here in the 5th. Two to 1 Dodgers. 2 on, 2 out. 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Good swing. This postseason coming into tonight's game 2, their average with 2 out, 252, with runners on 300. Runners in scoring position 405. And now over half their runs this postseason have scored with 2 out.
Yeah, you come across certain stats and you go, there's no way, that can't be. Nah, it doesn't seem right. One of the stats that came across was 0 home runs versus starting pitchers since the All-Star break in 130 at-bats for Andrew Benintendi. It just doesn't seem possible.
He's ready, so's Ryu. Good pitch, strike 2.
The feel for that pitch tonight's been pretty good. We've seen a couple bounced. First pitch trying to get something other than a fastball, but right there behind an account. Great pitch to get to 2-2.
Vasquez, the runner at second, Betts on at first, and time called again. And so Barnes goes out to talk again, second visit of this inning. But it comes from one of the players. Right now, a quick word from YouTube TV.
YouTube TV. Watch like a fan.
Time called again. Two and two the count. Full count, and that's an advantage for the Red Sox as Vasquez, who, as I said, doesn't run well at second, will get a head start.
This is what I was talking about. 2 outs, nobody on. 3 outs is hard to get against this team in clean innings. So we get a base hit, now a 3-2 stress pitch with the runners going in 2 outs.
Benintendi taps a foul. Andrew had 4 hits last night, 0 for 2 tonight. .168 hits, a career high during the regular season, still young. And Ryu steps off again.
As a pitcher, you want to be so convicted on the pitch you're throwing is the absolute right one. You can't be in between. You can't go with a suggestion. You have to go with what you feel is absolutely the right pitch. Even if it doesn't work out, the committed pitch is way better than the suggested pitch.
Well, Ryu and Barnes, the catcher, trying to get on the same page. Now they are. Runners will go. It's been a 7-pitch at bat. Here's another mound visit. And Dave Roberts, told, is the one that sent Barnes out there. And that was indeed the case. I think he's sensing what you're sensing, that he wants to make sure that Ryu is committed to whatever he's bringing here on 3 and 2. Runners go. That gets away. The runners advance. The bases are loaded. Ball 4 anyway.
And I think that's going to be it for Ryu, based on the way that they have approached these games. And here comes Dave Roberts.
The first walk of the night by the big left-hander is his final act here in Game 2. Ryan Madson will come into the ball game with Pierce, the scheduled hitter, for the pitching change.
Those aren't baseball cards?
Those are not. Bases loaded. 2 out. Madsen to Pierce. And a ball up and in. Madsen worked here last night in game 1. Took over in the 5th last night. Allowed 1 hit in 1 inning. Walked 1. And a couple of inherited runners scored against him. The 1-0 to Pierce. 2-0.
Yeah, the problem with bringing somebody in here, and Madsen's done a great job, is you've got no room for error, of course. And he's pitching on the windup. 2 outs, nobody on this inning started. Look at the pressure now that the Dodgers are in because the Red Sox relentless approach.
A hit by Vasquez, followed by a hit by Batts. A walk to Benintendi. What's it going to be on 2-0? Two and 1.
And what Madsen has shown is he doesn't like to pitch out of the stretch if he doesn't have to. So everyone with 2 outs, including Benintendi, is going to get a huge jump if this were to be a hit. But he feels more comfortable using the deception of his long arm and delivery out of the windup.
The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. The 38-year-old Ryan Madsen. Picked up in season from Washington. Has to throw a strike. Can tie game. Fourth time this postseason, the Red Sox have walked with the bases loaded to force home a run. And now you go from Pierce to J.D. Martinez. First batter Madsen faced yesterday was Pierce, and he walked him. Ball 1 inside on Martinez. What a chance for the big DH. First year in Boston. After a huge year. Flies one into right. This one will drop. Red Sox are on top. 2-run score. It's 4-2.
That's why J.D. Martinez, one of the best hitters in baseball with runners in scoring position. He doesn't always try to do it one way. He inside outs it, gets the hit, easily scores 2 runs with the speed on the bases. And this place is going crazy.
It's been a 3-run 5th and a chance for more. 2 key walks mixed in. Good block by Barnes as the Red Sox have scored 9 of 12 runs this series with 2 outs.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And, you know, the old saying, you never take anything for granted in the postseason. You never know what's going to turn an inning or turn a game. And again, the 9th spot, a base hit out of their catcher, got this going with 2 outs. And then you turn it over to the top of that lineup, that heavy top lineup that the Red Sox put heat on the opposing pitchers.
Here's a 1-0 from Madsen. A ball and a strike. Bogaerts with a double and a run scored in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Puts the arms up on ball 2, down and in, 2-1. A walk to Benintendi ended the game for Ryu. A walk to Pierce with the bases loaded started the effort here in the 5th by Madsen. And a hit by Martinez. Now a strike to Bogaerts, 2-2.
I have not seen the changeup. He's come in throwing fastballs up. He's not been able to get it down. He spiked one breaking ball. I wonder if the feel for that pitch. That's his signature pitch.
The 2-2 struck him out. And there was the changeup from Madsen. But a 3-run 5th from Ryu to Madsen. A walk, a hit by Martinez. And because of this 3-run 5th in game 2, the Red Sox lead 4-2. Time video.
Wish I knew somebody that was doing that game.
Well, you do. 6th inning, 4-2 game, and Manny Machado takes a pitch outside. Ball 1. So David Price, who had a 1-run lead after 2, now has a 2-run lead after 5. Machado part of that 2-run rally by the Dodgers in the 4th. Gets under it, skies it out behind short. Bogaerts is called off by Benintendi. And there's one out in the 6th. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, in theaters November 16th. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel. Beautiful night, crisp evening in Boston, Massachusetts. We're in the 6th inning of game 2. The Red Sox on top. Price now trying to get through 6. On the ropes in the 4th inning. There is help behind Price if he needs it with action in his bullpen. Here's a bunt by Taylor. Devers got it. 2 out. This is something we talked about coming on the air tonight. The Boston Red Sox have done with 2 out. All 4 of their runs have scored with 2 out in the series, 9 of 12. And well over half of their runs this postseason have scored with 2 down.
Yeah, they've been amazing. And, you know, throughout the playoffs, we talk about how hard that is for the opposing team when they give up 2 runs. But the 3 runs or more in an inning has delivered teams to a record of 18-2. So when you get a crooked number, when you get a big inning, doesn't matter which team, they usually go on to win in the postseason.
Here's Kemp, strike 1. The postseason troubles for David Price, who obviously has all-world talent. Traveled with him to Detroit, to Toronto. Came to the Red Sox in 2016, was 0-1 that year in the postseason after winning 17 games in the regular year. Spent 2 on Kemp. Last year, spent some time on the DL, was 6-3, got into 2 games. But it took until game 5 of this recent ALCS for him to get his first win as a starter in the postseason. And he's trying to back it up here with this strong game 2 start in the World Series.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Kemp takes the ball.
You know, early in some of those games, and it's going to always, as a player, you're never going to talk about it because it sounds like an excuse. The craziest of innings were happening to him early that compounded then answering questions, why is this happening? And then, of course, losses happen. And the Yankees in his division that numbers have not worked out in his favor. So Game 5 had to feel real good for him in Houston. 2-2. See, those are the numbers at home I talked about, how comfortable he's been here. Dominant in the second half.
Kemp homered last night, hit a sac fly to center tonight. He tied the game back in the fourth with the bases loaded, nobody out. Kemp reaching for it. Devers to his left. A 1-2-3-6 for the left-hander Price. And an 8-pitch inning for the 33-year-old. 4-2 Boston into the bottom of the sixth at Fenway. The 2018 World Series, the 114th World Series. Red Sox leading 1-0, leading game 2, 4-2. Julio Urias, the left-hander, who turned 22 in August, taking on the third baseman, Rafael Devers, who turned 22 today. The numbers for Urias this postseason, 1-0 record, 2 earned runs in 4 1/3. And only 3 games, 4 innings in the regular season, as that's foul backing out of play. Strike 2. Devers struck out twice against Ryu. He was the pitcher of record for the Dodgers, who's a couple of his runners that he left on ended up scoring. Actually 3. When Ryan Madsen took over last inning, a bases loaded walk and a 2-run single by Martinez. Devers hits one in the air to left center, and Bellinger is there, 1 out. Earlier tonight, Chevrolet awarded Chevy Youth Baseball coach Mike Van Cleve the keys to a brand new Traverse in honor of his 50 years of dedication to youth baseball. To see all the ways Chevy cares, visit Chevy.com/cares. 1 out, nobody on. The batter is Kinsler, who had an RBI single his first time up in the second.
Well, the Dodgers have been in every single game. Obviously, they're always a swing or 2 away from getting it back in the game or taking control of the game, so they need to keep it close right here.
Here's a pop-up. 3 fielders have a shot at it, and Bellinger, the tallest of the 3, comes gliding in to make the catch for out number 2. That had danger and error written all over it, and Bellinger saved the play, 2 out.
Well, when one guy's backing up, the other guy's on his heels, and the third guy joins the party, someone has to take command. And you see center fielder is the captain of that.
Made the catch and worked his way between the bodies of Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor. 2 out. Bradley, strike 1.
And that's what's amazing, you know, having followed the Dodgers through the playoffs. They haven't played the cleanest of games, but because of the power they have and the power that comes off the bench, they haven't panicked, and they never get carried away with storylines or the flow of the game. And I asked Dave Roberts about that. You know, it doesn't seem like your bench, anybody's bothered by anything. He says, no, we've been through a lot. Business as usual. We'll get them when the moment's right. They certainly proved that in 7 games against the Brewers.
We're 10 games under 500, 8 games out in mid-May. And went from that point forward, had the best record in the National League overall. Strike two on Bradley as Arias, who is not part of the Division Series roster, has really looked good since joining the fun in the NLCS.
And let's face it, both these teams have star power. That's why they're here. Their rosters are great. And the young players are great and have an unbelievable future for each club, you would think, has sustainability.
That is foul. Well, it's already been sustained for the Dodgers. They've won their division 6 straight years. They've been in the LCS 3 straight years, and they're in the World Series 2 straight years. Incredible success, especially these last 3 seasons under Dave Roberts. Here's a 1-2. We fooled him. Bradley off balance, pops it up. Turner is there. And that sends game 2 into the 7th. David Price, the Red Sox leading by 2 back after this from your local Fox station to rebuild communities. 7th inning and a pitching change for the Red Sox. David Price outstanding again. Joe Kelly takes over. He worked last night, hit 100 miles per hour with a couple of fastballs. And Max Muncy comes off the bench to bat for Kike Hernandez to lead off the 7th.
Can't simulate 100 miles an hour sitting on the bench, going in the cage, getting loose, but that's what he's going to face, 98 to 100. And if he has command, he's got a changeup and a breaking ball off that fastball.
Strike 1 on Muncy. The Dodgers don't have to think too far back to have some hope. In the NLCS, they lost game 1 at Milwaukee. They trailed 3-0 going into the 7th. They trailed by 2 going into the 7th tonight. They scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, won the ball game 4-3. Kelly deals, and it skips into Muncy, a ball and a strike.
One big difference is the weather. You would think the weather trying to catch up to velocity off the bench. I mean, professional hitters, timing, cold, and you can only do so many swings in the cage to get prepared, but that's what the Dodgers have on the bench. A lot of power that they're going to start using.
Here's a 1-1. Muncy out in front of that pitch. 84 as Kelly fooled him, strike 2.
This is the breaking ball that has become a much better weapon for Kelly. He used to throw everything as hard as he could.
The issue with him has always been command. He can get wild every once in a while. When he is around the plate, he is tough to hit. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. As you saw Vasquez ask for it up, Kelly hit the mitt to start the 7th. Well, only 2 pitchers have had 2 consecutive starts in which they went 6 or more innings and allowed 2 or fewer runs overall this postseason. Nathan Eovaldi and now David Price, who went 6, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, walked 3, struck out 5, and was outstanding.
Yeah, he really was. And got into one trouble, and Dodgers made him work hard for that. And only 2 runs given up.
Here's Puig. A 2-out RBI single for Yasiel back in the 4th. Soft liner caught by Kinsler in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 2. And 4th in franchise history with his 47 career postseason hits. Kelly ready with another. Left side. Devers. 2 out. And a good play by Devers to flash in front of Bogarts for out number 2. Earlier tonight, Jesse Quist, the winner of the Breaking Barriers essay contest, was recognized on field alongside the daughter of Jackie Robinson, Sharon. Breaking Barriers is an educational program inspired by Jackie, where students learn about his life values and how they can apply them to overcome obstacles. Visit MLBcommunity.org to learn more. Nice moment before tonight's game. There's Yasmani Grandal, who bats for Austin Barnes. 2 out, nobody on. Shift on the infield, and Grandal takes a strike.
Simple mechanics, really. Looks like he's barely throwing the baseball. He's got a gift. Live arm.
Not a big guy, but a lot of power. Joe Kelly. Breaking ball in for strike 2. And Kelly is locked in. Grandal got into last night's game late, drew a walk. Set up here at 0-2 and takes ball 1. Grandal, a free agent to be. Did hit 24 home runs during the regular season, drove home 68. It's been a struggle in the postseason, offensively and defensively. 1-2 pitch. Able to lay off at 99 from Kelly.
You definitely want the top of the strike zone. He usually chases if you get it right above that line that typically would be called a strike, and they've just been too far above it.
Grandal strikes out. And Joe Kelly with a 1-2-3-7. Time to stretch at Fenway Park. Red Sox leading game 2 by 2. Well, these Red Sox fans are loving what they're seeing from their team here after a 108-win season. They lead game 2, 4-2. Bottom of the 7th. New pitcher is Kenta Maeda, right-hander, after Urias was sharp in 1 inning, all zeros. Yasmani Grandal stays in the game after pinch hitting and striking out. He does the catching. And Max Muncy, who pinch hit, is at second base. Where, by the way, he feels comfortable. That's how he came up.
And the guy at the plate with 2 outs got it started for the Red Sox. 3-run rally.
His hit happened in the 5th, and it was followed by Mookie Betts. The base hit, a walk to Benintendi after a long at bat. Ryu was taken out. Ryan Madsen came in, walked Steve Pearce, and allowed a 2-run single by J.D. Martinez. That made it 4-2. It's still 4-2. Maeda with a 1-1. Nathan Eovaldi is getting loose. Boy, Alex Cora is not scared to use that bullpen and use the starter Eovaldi out of the pen. There's a strike, 2-2. Joe Kelly had an efficient 7th inning, struck out 2, threw just 11 pitches. With the top of the order coming up, looks like Cora will go to Eovaldi. Here's a 2-2.
That's why this inning is so important. Similar situation in the game yesterday, a 1-run game. And the Red Sox broke it open with that 2-out, 3-run homer. Changes a lot in how and who you use.
Again, the Red Sox have not named who will start game 3 on Friday in L.A. Here's a 3-2 all the way. But it would stand to reason if Eovaldi pitched last night and is getting ready to come in tonight, it means Porcello and then Eovaldi in game 4.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, I think the Dodgers, I know 3 players can't wait to see a right-handed starter. That'll be in the lineup.
Muncy, Peterson, Bellinger.
Yep.
Three-two pitch. Right side. Nice play by Muncy to his left. 1 down. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, Mookie Betts is the favorite of a lot of Red Sox fans and the favorite of a very special fan, one Mary Latowski, 102 years young. There she is. She's attending her 4th World Series game today. And yes, she was born Valentine's Day, 1916. That's the year the Dodgers and Red Sox last played in the World Series. She lives in Coventry, Rhode Island. Recently had some health problems, got out of the hospital yesterday, and yet she insisted on being at tonight's game.
That is great. And she has seen Mookie Betts, as Kenny told us, her favorite player, go 2 for 3 and get a key hit with 2 out in the 5th. So these two organizations met in the World Series 102 years ago. That is the longest drought for organizations to have between World Series appearances against one another. It's the Brooklyn Robins. They didn't become the Dodgers until 1932 against the Boston Red Sox. And there are a lot of cool details. Here's a fly ball into left. Off the bat of Betts and off the Green Monster for a double with 1 out. Hit number 3 on the night to make Mary Latowski happy. She came to Fenway.
Well, he's amazing and more than likely going to win the MVP. 2 candidates on this team, of course, JD Martinez and himself. That one backed up. Slider backs up. Usually a recipe for a good fly ball and a deep fly ball. And this time the Monster kicked it back. Well, I said whatever wind is blowing against or towards right field.
We'll bring in Benintendi.
Just maybe kept that ball from carrying out.
Benintendi 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Takes a strike. Some of the details of that 1916 matchup in the World Series. Casey Stengel, the 26-year-old right fielder for the Robins, hit .364 for Brooklyn. And Babe Ruth pitched a 14-inning complete game in Game 2. A 2-1 win, including the last 13 innings scoreless. Blocked by Grandal. A good play by Yasmani, and the count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox won that series 4-1, and they played their home games in that World Series at nearby Braves Field. Not here at Fenway Park. It was in its 5th year. With a 35,000 seating capacity compared to 40,000 at Braves Field. They wanted more fans to get in to see it.
Maeda's going to have to pay attention to Betts. Turner's way off the bag. He'll have to get to the bag if Betts seizes the moment to try and steal third and put even more pressure on the Dodgers.
Machado behind him, trying to hold him close as he can. The 1-1 to Benintendi inside, 2-1. Big jump, but Betts stays put. And the count 2-2.
He had it, man. He just got caught a little bit at the end. But he had almost timed the rhythm of Maeda. Watch how close this was. He got off to a spot, and you could tell one more inch, and he might have been taken off.
Stole 30 during the regular season, has won this postseason, and that came last night in the first inning of game 1. And Maeda's going to kick the mud out of his spikes. Two. Struck him out on a pitch down and away. So the double, then the strikeout, 2 out. And instead of Steve Pearce, it'll be Moreland off the bench. And with the pinch hitter coming in, we'll give you a quick word from Bank of America.
You're all set. Your payment has been scheduled.
Late bills are gone with Eric.
Said Hall of Famers, are you involved in that? You get like a side deal to put on a unicorn mask and sing?
I am not.
Good. Runner at second here, 2 out, and Scott Alexander, who was left off the LCS roster, but added back on to the World Series roster because he can work and work a lot. He was 8th in the National League with all of those appearances, is 73, and here he is with a runner at second, 2 out, dealing with Mitch Moreland. Strike 1.
Good movement to his fastball. Might play into the success of Moreland, where you can get him out up in the zone. Good stuff out of Alexander.
Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Caleb Ferguson was left off this round, the final round by LA. And so back to Scott Alexander, and he's trying to keep this a 2-run game. With the top of the order coming up for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers in the 8th. Bellinger, Turner, Freese. Alexander on 0-2. Just missed the outside corner, ball 1. JD Martinez on deck. Pedro Baez, the right-hander, getting loose. So this is a 1-and-done for Alexander. Trying to get Moreland to end the 7th and help the Dodgers get around that 1-out double by Betts. Good block by Grandal. Betts was ready, and he takes third. Grandal able to keep it in front of the plate, but it bounced far enough, and Betts was on his toes.
Yeah, he was aggressive the whole time with his lead and secondary lead, anticipating a pitch like this. Watch how he gets there and then just immediately takes off. That is how you use your speed, and now that's how you make even more pressure on the combination of the Dodgers with a runner on third. Another pitch is in the dirt.
Two. Struck him out. Good work by Alexander. Keeps it a 2-run game. Drama coming in the 8th. Top of the order will bat for the Dodgers, down by 2. Well, here in the 8th inning, Nathan Eovaldi takes over. 10 Dodgers have been retired in a row. Cody Bellinger will have his first at bat. Eovaldi can bring it. Upper 90s, can touch triple digits. This postseason, he's been great, as you see the numbers. Started the season in Tampa, and he deals a strike to Cody Bellinger.
Both he and Kelly have utilized a lot of first pitch off speed before they go to that gasoline that they have with fastballs.
That is hard hit and foul, just foul. And a bad break for the Dodgers as Bellinger hit it hard, strike 2.
Well, when the Red Sox got Eovaldi, he had a couple good games with him, but one thing they tried to get him to do was elevate the ball and get it out of the same area, because the velocity and everything being in the same area does not have the same impact once he was able to get away from balls right down the middle. So changing location, cutter, changeup, curveball.
Machado due up fourth in this eighth. That's outside. Eovaldi spent last year rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. He's worked his way back, and the velocity has been climbing higher and higher. He is signed through this season. Big pickup by Boston. Bellinger trying to battle. That's 99 from the right-hander. Still 1-2.
The battle back he has. He was always blessed with that velocity, and he has a different release point than most pitchers in the sense that he gets behind the ball at times and not on top of the ball. So it flattens, but they've made that correction, and you can see the success he's had now with the Red Sox.
Struck him out. Bellinger down to start the eighth.
There's that release, rotation, and velocity by the hitter.
This would likely cement Porcello as the game 3 starter. Here's Turner with Jock Peterson in the on-deck circle. Takes a strike. Turner had 3 hits last night, 0 for 3 in game 2.
Well, I'm intrigued. I mean, if everything goes right, this is all going to work for the Red Sox, but I'm intrigued to see how he gets ready, if he is the game 4 starter after 2 back-to-back stints here in game 1 and 2.
Worked an inning last night. Hits 100. Had Tommy John surgery as a junior in high school. He just had a Tommy John surgery again as a big leaguer, and he's never thrown this hard. As Turner set up at 1-2. 2-2. Bellinger struck out. Turner reaches for it. Checks on Bogarts. Good play, 2 out. And with Jock Peterson walking in, a quick word from YouTube TV.
YouTube TV. Watch like a fan.
Second straight night, Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, has emptied his bench. That's kind of the way they do it with LA. They have so many moving parts. They all fit together so well. And Jock Peterson, who is 7 for 29 in this postseason, steps in. If he gets on, he brings up Machado, representing the tying run. Ball 1. Peterson 2 groundouts last night after getting into the game in the 7th. Ball and a strike.
Kimbrel getting loose just in case. The Dodgers have their own 2-out rally with nobody on. So the average velocity the last 3 innings for the Red Sox is going to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, you go from Kelly to Eovaldi to Kimbrel. Fly ball into left. Easy for Benintendi. And the Red Sox bullpen outstanding tonight. 13 pitches for Eovaldi. 13 Dodgers retired in a row. Bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox batting up 2. Every time you tweet and retweet with hashtag HR4HR, T-Mobile will give another $2. Keep tweeting and T-Mobile will keep donating. Pedro Baez greeted by that from J.D. Martinez and center and a sliding catch by Cody Bellinger. And the Dodgers flash some leather of their own. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th. What a play.
That was a great play. That ball was going away from Cody Bellinger. Just when he thought he had a beat on it, he had to take another turn. Watch this ball kind of hook away from him. Great closing speed by the fastest guy on their team, Cody Bellinger.
Well, some defensive changes for the Dodgers as David Price thought J.D. Martinez added 1 to the total. Instead, it's allowed out. Every time these outfielders look around, they see somebody different to their left and right. Jock Peterson stays in the game. He's in left. That moves Chris Taylor to second. That moves Max Muncy to first. Baez to Bogarts, and this one is easy for Bellinger. 2 out. Before Devers bats on his birthday, a quick word from Geico.
Here you go.
Oh,
and your wings.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
Right, I'm starved.
Oh, so I guess you heard, huh?
The Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance?
No, those are ghost pepper wings.
Geico, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
Bottom of the 8th, Devers looking for a hit on his birthday. Turns 22 today. A world of talent. Just figuring it out at the big league level. Baez has thrown 2 pitches, now 3. Has 2 outs and a 1-0 count on Devers, who has struck out twice and lined out. Craig Kimbrel is ready for the 9th. Machado, Taylor, and Kemp. If anybody gets on, Max Muncy, who hit 35 home runs this season. 1-0. Good pitch. Baez has been so good, and the numbers are piling up for Pedro. Left-handed hitters are 0 for their last 31, including 0 for 10 this postseason against this right-hander.
Yeah, he's been good. You saw just that filthy split finger that he threw right there that Devers swung at.
Hard hit, but Taylor is there. Lefties now 0 for their last 32 against number 52. Big bats coming up for the Dodgers in the 9th, game 2. Season will try and save it for David Price and the Red Sox and give Boston a 2-0 series lead. 4-2 Boston. Machado first up. Strike 1. Last night we saw Kimbrel come in. A lot of talk about him potentially tipping his pitches during the ALCS. Not only did he have a perfect 9th inning, but he looked good doing it.
Yeah, I don't think he could have looked better than he did last night, which doesn't bode well for the Dodgers. They were hoping maybe he might not be as sharp, but it was outstanding stuff.
Machado 1 for 3, and he hits it high in the air to center. Bradley drifts to it. 1 out in the 9th. 14 straight Dodger hitters retired by the Red Sox. 1 out in the 9th, and now a quick word from Disney.
This Thanksgiving, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Rated PG.
Well, you knew that manager Dave Roberts loved his bullpen coming in. You like the way his bullpen matched up with Milwaukee in the NLCS, but Alex Cora has called on guys out of his bullpen that have gone 7 1/3, allowed a run on 3 hits so far.
A lot of power, a lot of fastball, power, curveball combinations. And a lot of strikes.
Chris Taylor now 0 for 2 with a walk. Dodgers need a base runner to have a chance here in the 9th inning, down by 2. Ball 1. Walker Buehler gets the ball. Game 3 Friday night. In Game 3. It appears Rick Porcello will get it for the Red Sox, but that's not in stone. Cora likes to keep you guessing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, there's nothing to guess about Kimbrel. It's 2 pitches. One of the filthiest curveballs you're going to see from that angle, and then, of course, velocity from a unique angle. He's been good for a long time.
And he has that unique peek in for the sign from his catcher. The 1-1. Check swing, he went. Strike 2.
That's that power breaking ball, getting ready for velocity. Just so difficult to stay off.
Chopped to second. Kinsler 2 out.
If the Dodgers don't rally with 2 outs, they have plenty of firepower to get back in this series. The Red Sox did everything they had to do in Game 1 and Game 2 thus far to put themselves in a nice spot. But
Dodgers will try to flip the script when we get to Southern California. The Red Sox win tonight, they will go 14-2 in World Series games between 04, 07, 2013, and this year. 8-1 here at Fenway. 2 out, 10th, ball 1. Craig Kimbrel missed the majority of spring training, the 30-year-old right-hander. From Huntsville, Alabama. He and his wife, Ashley, had a daughter, Lydia. Last November, he's been dealing with congenital heart disease. Has had a number of surgeries. Kimbrels have been through a lot. And Craig called his wife, Ashley, the #1 mom of the year. So real life. And all of those unknowns swirling around the Kimbrels, and even though he missed the majority of spring training, he had a 42-save season, and he looks locked in again here in October. The 1-1 to Kemp should end it. Bogaerts gathers it in. Red Sox up 2 games to nothing. 4-2 win in Game 2. David Price has won back-to-back starts. Game 5 of the ALCS, Game 2 of the World Series.
You get to this point, if you get a couple hot guys in each department, 2 hot guys in your lineup, 2 hot starters, and 2 hot relievers, it's a pretty good formula at the right time of the year. And Boston just executed better. Dodgers are going to look to do that. As you said, flip the script in LA, where it'll be loud and very warm.
16 straight Dodgers retired to end the night, and the only hits for LA came in that